Hey guys! So this exercise is called iso abs, short for isometric abs. What we're after here is trying to create more core strength and more stability. So the focus here is on maintaining a consistent position between the ribs and the pelvis. As we're here, we're going to think about drawing the ribs and hips towards each other so that there's a gentle pressure of the low back towards the ground. It should feel really gentle. It should not feel like you're trying to cram your lower back into the floor. All you're trying to do is find the floor, touch it, stay there, and keep the abs contracted throughout the exercise. You also want to check in and make sure that your head and neck are in a neutral position, and I'll show you a picture of that in just a moment here. As you're going through this exercise, you should not feel any pain in your back or anywhere else. If you do, you're pushing yourself a little bit too hard, too fast. Take it back for a second, go back to the variation before and stay there until you get a little bit stronger, and then try again in a while. As always, if you're having any pain or discomfort, please seek the advice of your doctor before continuing any exercise routine. Good luck, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thanks, you guys. This is an example of the head moving too far into extension and flexion. What should happen is we go from a nice neutral curve to a little bit of a chin tuck and a little bit of a lift. You should feel this movement right over your finger at the base of your skull. To start the exercise, laying on your back, find a gentle imprint drawing your ribs and hips closer to each other. From there, bring your legs up into knees over hips, feet relaxed. Hands go on the tops of the thighs, but check in first and make sure you've been able to maintain that neutral head position with your chin gently tucked and not extended. From here, hands on the top of the thighs, press the hands into the thighs and the thighs back into the hands. As you do this, you're creating pressure in your abdominal region. Keep pulling the ribs and hips towards each other. On your inhales, maintain pressure. As you exhale, see if you can increase the pressure between your knees and your hands. Again, inhaling to maintain, exhaling, keeping the ribs and hips drawn towards each other and the low back very lightly pressed into the floor. One more time, inhaling, maintain, and as you exhale, can you increase the pressure one more time and relax for a moment. Now we'll add on to the previous exercise with toe taps. Again, start by finding your gentle imprint, ribs and hips towards each other. Bring the knees up over the hips. Press the hands onto the thighs. Take a breath in. Exhale to find the pressure between your hands and knees, keeping the low back pressing into the mat. Slowly release one toe to tap the ground and then return it back to the same place. And other toe and return it back. As you alternate side to side, maintain pressure on the side that's staying in place. Keep your low back gently pulled into the ground. Continue tapping one foot, returning back, finding both sides, and then switching to the other. Make sure that you're even from one side to the other. Bring both hands back, take a breath, and lower to the ground. Take a rest for a moment. The next step is to add in arm reaches. We'll start the exercise in the same position. Gently find your imprint, drawing your low tummy to the mat. Bring the knees up over the hips, hands to the top of the thighs. Finding that compression on the exhale between the knees and the hands, take a breath in. On your next exhale, reach one arm overhead, keeping the knees and opposite arm in place. As you inhale, return the arm back, find the pressure on that side, and then exhale, reach the opposite arm. As you're switching from one side to the other, the ribs should stay very stable, the core should stay very stable, nothing other than your arm moves. It's also important to note that we aren't necessarily trying to reach the ground. We're only trying to go as far as the ribs can stay stable. Again, our goal here is core strength, not necessarily shoulder mobility. Make sure that you're even from one side to the other. Return both hands, take a breath, and when you're ready, go ahead and lower your legs all the way back down to the ground and take another rest for a moment. This last variation is much more challenging. If you're not ready for this, go back and repeat the previous two versions. If you are ready for a challenge, return to your start position, finding your imprint, knees lifted, hands and thighs pressing into each other. As you exhale this time, reach one arm out and tap the toe to the ground. Inhale, return it back to center. Exhale, repeat the same thing on the second side. If you would like even more challenge, you can reach the leg straight rather than tapping the toe, and then inhale, return it back to center. It is important to remember here, we're still focused on keeping the ribs and pelvis stable. If we are losing our imprint, then it's not worth it. Go back and do the others if you need to. Otherwise, continue reaching alternate arm and leg, finding length through the side that you're reaching at the same time that you're pressing through the opposite side that's stabilizing you. Make sure that you're even from one side to the other and then lower to the ground. Nicely done. Thanks so much for working out with me today. I really hope that you got a good workout in and you're building strength where you need it. Make sure that you're moving through all ranges of motion in a given exercise. So if what you just did was some abs, make sure you do an exercise for your hips. Make sure you get in some arms. Balance it out before you finish off for the day. And then if you have any other exercises or areas of concern that you'd love to see a video on, please reach out and let me know. I'm happy to answer questions as well. You can reach out to me through the website, through Facebook, or through my email, seda@chalkmovewell.com. Have a great day.